40% in that last PISA test, 40% of Australian students were unable to read at a proficient standard. And this decline in literacy has occurred while Coalition and Labor governments keep pouring in taxpayers' money, truckloads. You mentioned Gonski reforms. NAPLAN data from 2019 show that after a decade in school, 1 in 5 Year 9 students couldn't read well enough to get by. It's clear that politicians, apart from you, don't read any of this stuff.
No, and they find throwing money at schools, our money, taxpayers' money, to be the easy option. It's easy to throw other people's money, even though you know you're not going to get a better result. So on the reading front, we've got to get rid of whole word teaching and have phonics. Synthetic phonics is the only approach. It works. It's a crime against the young person to use a bad reading program when better ones are available. And currently in New South Wales, South Australia, they're introducing it in Victoria. They do the Year 1 phonics check, a basic test assessment of a 6-year-old's ability to sound out words.
Sounds of letters, how it helps them spell.
Yeah, well,
but see, Mark, let me ask you this.
To teach phonics.
From this year, this is unbelievable. From this year, the graduating certificates of Victoria's Year 12 students, they're finished. They've finished secondary school. It'll include a score for their literacy and numeracy. I mean, wouldn't you think after a decade in the education system, you'd be able to actually take their literacy and numeracy levels as a given?
Well, it's a problem. We need not only a Year 1 phonics check, we need it in Year 2 and Year 3. And in New South Wales, Alan, currently the problem is so bad, there's an estimated 17,000 students go from primary school to high school each year and they can't read. 17,000. Now, and others with inadequate reading ability. So the first responsibility of early learning, kindy, years 1 and 2 at a school, is not nonsense about Australia Day or Black Lives Matter or genocide or Indigenous or gender fluidity. It's to teach them how to read.
Absolutely.
And schools can do this. If schools just concentrate on the reading programs that work, phonics, these kids will learn how to read, and that's the obvious foundation stone upon which a good education and a good life are based.
Well, I'm saying to parents out there, you check your kids, their vocabulary is poor, their geography is woeful. I mean, they don't know where Gunnedah is, never heard of Gunnedah. They taught European history before they taught Australian history. And now we're going to teach phonics. But how can teachers, Mark, teach phonics if they themselves don't know what phonics is? They're products of a failed system.
Yeah, they're products of the university education faculties that are more political than substance and effectiveness. And, it's a measure of how badly the universities have failed, that every second person starting a teaching degree doesn't finish it. They are so disillusioned, so turned away by the faculty that they don't go through to graduate and become a teacher. Whereas non-university programs like Alpha Crucis College there in Newcastle and other places, they've got a 95% retention rate for teacher training on them, because it's not just sitting in the lecture theatre listening to all this theory. It's like an apprenticeship. Teaching's an apprenticeship where you get a little bit of theory, you test it in the classroom. A bit more theory, test it again in the classroom. Have a mentor. All of it is class-based so that these teachers have got immediate interaction. These student teachers interact in Year 1 with the students in the classroom. They get theory and practice interwoven together. And when you're getting a 95% retention rate, only 5% dropping out, it's a mile ahead of our universities. Yes, and we need to put more resources in teacher training into programs like Alpha Crucis.